The sky was burning. The clouds red with twisted fire. Lightning moving across them. And they descended upon everything. Like a furious battle between God and Satan, good and evil. Like a fire vortex.
I am doing lovely, Maz. Yes, it's always a pleasure to be in the booth for an SGL match. Yes, we have a cup match tonight, upper semifinal. Both teams have 2 lives left, so whoever loses tonight is not done. And even in the Prem, I know this is in the championship, the SGL championship, but both the Prem and championship cup matches have been very, very entertaining. So it's not just like other league games. It's not just like just like league play, just kind of in a cup tournament. We were doing something a little different, Maz. If you want to kind of touch on that a little bit. It's a wide variety of options, Maz, and I wonder. I don't know if you have like kind of an in with these two teams, but I wonder, if who would pick what extra mode. Like who's kind of better at what. Because obviously you have, speaking for the mostly for the Prem, since I play my team plays in the Prem of, we've got a lot of mechanical players, so maybe it's better to go like a 1v1 2v2 route, or maybe like if there's like an extra mode, maybe like a hoops where it's very technical and stuff like that. But I don't know. Do these teams have like a favored extra mode? Do we know that as of now, or I'm trying to think of what Debit has said? I don't remember what Debit. No, I don't know what Debit said. I don't remember if he did. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I like that. Right, and it kind of gets down to too. Do you want to play to your strengths, or do you want to play to the other team's weaknesses? And so it's kind of cool to see that like a mental kind of warfare as we kind of go through the series. And then just to reiterate for those of you just tuning in to our SGL Cup, game one will be a normal standard 3v3, or I guess I should say all odd numbered games are going to be standard 3v3. And then the loser of the previous 3v3 match will get to pick any game mode to play in the even number matches. And once you pick an extra mode, you cannot repick, or once you pick a mode in those even numbered games, you cannot pick the same one twice. So once 2v2 is played, it's off the board. Once Snow Day's played, it's off the board, etc. So Maz, do we have predictions maybe tonight? As I think both teams are in the lobby, so we're gonna get started here pretty soon. Oh, let's do it. EC Defiance in 6. Okay. I know that the real life Timbers play the real life Tacoma Defiance in the Open Cup. I think that's next week, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the next two, or yeah, I think it's next Tuesday. So I unfortunately am gonna have to pick against EC Defiance because of that reason and that reason alone, along with Mr. Debit and Mr. Accountant. So I know that's kind of a lame response, but that is gonna be my. Let's see, how many games? I'll go. I like the 6 game, but I'll be different. I'll say 5 games. I'll say 5 games for Steel Army. So we'll see. But here we go, Maz. We're counting it down, and like I said, we start game 1 with a standard 3v3, just like League play. Yeah, absolutely. We got Tam player Bird Nana on the field. He's going to be the one to watch out for EC Defiance. I think in any game mode too. I think he's just strong all around the field, along with the rest of his teammates. But I think he's the DP player that gets paid only with Tam. So we'll see about that. But yeah, it was kind of a instant start from Steel Army off the kickoff, but it's kind of leveled off since then as we see Bear Blitz get a shot. It's going to be saved away by Bird Nana. And I want to highlight Bear Blitz again too for the Team Queso decal. Team Queso decal. Rest in peace, Team Queso. They're probably still in org, just not in Rocket League anymore. Yeah, it's Bird Nana. Tam player Bird opening the scoring for EC Defiance. So that's a pretty good start for them. And Maz, your prediction's looking really good. Oh, they think you're muted.
Yes.
Chat, let us know if Maz or...
Yes, I was muted because OBS decided not to detect my microphone. So yeah, they can't hear me. You're the only one who can hear me right now.
Got it. Okay, we'll get that. Okay, so we'll get that sorted. Don't worry. Thank you, chat. We're rolling through it. But once again, it's Tam player Bird opening the scoring right now for EC Defiance. It's not to say that Steel Army have looked bad. It's just EC Defiance have just looked really good on the defensive end as we see Debit get a ball across, and I don't know if Red 4 got bumped or what happened there, but he's just gonna fly across the net as Bear Blitz. Not the read he wants. It's gonna be Tam player Bird again. Wow, EC Defiance, the DP player coming up clutch for EC Defiance.
And now finally chat can hear me once again. Raisin Boy, I think you might need to hop in because your team is struggling a bit right now. Raisin Boy, one of the players who filled in really well, looked really good at the matchup last week in the league. And right now, Bear Blitz needs to make a key save right here to get his team back into this. Slow dribble, losing control, not very Bear Blitz-like. And Steel Army are looking surprisingly weak right now, just really loose and chaotic and hectic. For EC Defiance, that should give them a lot of hope as Bear Blitz tries to solo dribble it. No help though. Now Steel Army needs to make sure they don't concede the third.
Yeah, I think that's been kind of the name of the game for Steel Army so far, is just there's been no help. It's been mainly just kind of a solo act, one player trying to do kind of solo things, whether it's any of them, Red 4, Bear Blitz, or Debit. And honestly, if you're Steel Army, you kind of want to let Debit do his thing. But right now, I think that net is open. Can Parks get it on target? He can. It's a third for EC Defiance, and I'm a little bit shocked. Just a little bit.
I'm with you on that, but I'm mostly shocked because of how open Steel Army have looked. Typically, they've been very, very good defensively. They've been on point with their rotations, and they always have a third guy back there, even if they play aggressively. This time, though, they just have all three go up, and there's no one going back, and that leaves the net wide open. And right now, this is playing right into EC Defiance's hands, and Steel Army trying yet again off of the frame of the goal, right on the anvil sound. It's probably going to be heard more often than not, given how Steel Army are playing right now. But if you're EC Defiance, you got to make the most of this. Winning a threes game puts you in a really good position, especially when you start getting into the extra game modes.
Exactly, as we see really good positioning again from Bird Nana, who's been kind of all over the place for this EC Defiance team, at least so far in this game one, as we see Nose is going to get a shot on target. Once again, another Minecraft anvil. That one's going to also hit the crossbar. No anvil that time, though. But yeah, it's just a little disconnected from Steel Army. Not much going on, and that's kind of what's led to that kind of donut on their side of the scoreboard. But it's also credit to EC Defiance, too. They've also played very well, so I don't want to say that it's all Steel Army, no offense. EC Defiance have also played very, very well to open this series.
Absolutely. And I just don't know what's going on with my OBS settings. Disclaimer, for some reason they just decided to reset themselves, so I'm just trying to make sure the settings are back to normal. So hopefully I sound a little better. But yeah, sorry, you mind repeating that point, Radag? I was just fiddling with OBS whilst you were saying what you were saying before.
No, you're good. I'm just saying that EC Defiance have played really well to open this series, and on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, as we see a big fat donut come out from Steel Army. Yeah, and it's going to be EC Defiance taking game number 1. And just a reminder, folks, that because Steel Army lost game 1, they get to pick the extra mode. Or I guess I'll call it an extra mode. It can be any of the modes. But yeah.
And they've already made their choice. Kind of a surprise. I thought they'd take a bit more time, but nope, they've already gone to it. So we'll see what we get right here. No spoilers.
Maz, you were right. Maz, yeah, you were right. And we have a substitute as well. So lots of changes coming for Steel Army after, the highest point total on Steel Army was 194 in Bear Blitz. That's frustrating and a little bit weird if you're a Steel Army fan. You're not really used to seeing that. I know for a fact we're used to seeing Debit with a much higher points per game as well. And of course, to highlight the other side, Bird Nana, TAM player Bird Nana, give that man a DP contract. He deserves it.
I mean, with the way he played in that,
points.
With the way he played in that game 1 Rydog, he absolutely does deserve it. And for EC Defiance, I think this game 2 is going to be critical, because this extra game mode in particular, once we get to it, we'll see how these players react, because it is kind of unorthodox. It's going to be a bit unexpected. No, it's not Rumble. Don't worry, it's not that crazy. So you guys can guess what it is. But we are waiting for both teams to join in, and once that happens, we'll be good to go.
And a commentator, because my game crashed, and I love Rocket League. But yeah, we've got some hockey going on. Which is what Maz said at the beginning. So good job, Maz.
And yes, playoff hockey means that Steel Army have decided to go with Snow Day. That's right. We are going to go into Snow Day. And folks, it's going to be an absolute barn burner. We're just waiting for Rydog to get before we get started, by the way. But once
I'm here. Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Yeah, both sets of players are in. You're not going to have any issues like we did last 2 weeks ago. Sorry. You guys remember? With the
So Maz, I don't know how much Snow Day you've played, or if you're like a secret snow wizard or ice blizzard wizard, whatever it's called, but it's an interesting game mode because you have the puck that will just kind of ring up the back wall, and somehow Rocket League will count it as a goal. And the best hits in this mode are actually not flipping into the ball and just kind of wave dashing onto it. As you can kind of see from Bearblitz there, a little bit of a flip kind of gives a little bit more power. So I'm interested to see. I don't know who this really favors, like team-wise.
there is more tech involved than that. I mean, at a basic level, yes, it's all about getting it onto the backboard. Oh, close from nose, but Raisin gets the first goal with a huge assist, courtesy of a demo from Devin.
Yeah, I don't think Devitt's touched the ball yet. I could be wrong, but he's definitely been the demo man. I think he has two or three demos already. So he said, "Let's scratch that game one and let's go Pens."
Oh, big time. And there might be a second right here as Bear Blitz tries to gain control of the puck on the backboard. So, speaking of the backboard, that's one of the standard ways you could score, as you alluded to, Rydog. You basically let the puck ride the backboard and have it just gravitate into the net. And the other tech that you mentioned was dashing onto the puck, so you pitch it on the ground and see it speed into the opposite end. But there's a lot more tech to it. I've seen people flip reset on the puck because, of course, the puck has a wider base, so it's much easier to flip reset on it. Air dribble, carrying the puck as well. And ground dribbling is an essential skill. So you're seeing Bear Blitz try that right here, keeping that puck close and getting the 50s. There's a lot more depth and nuance to this game mode than people would expect, especially when you start going to the higher level. And I look forward to seeing what these players come up with.
Yeah, so am I, and as we see Devitt getting another touch off of that, and it looks so far so good. Devitt's going to try and spike it down. That's really good positioning. I'm not sure who was on the post there for EC Defiance, so that's a really good clear in the end. But this puck, has been kind of in the orange half for most of the game. It's definitely looking like Steel Army are the more comfortable of the two teams.
Oh, big time. I don't think they play Snow Day too much nowadays, but back when Snow Day was a regular feature, they have played it quite a bit. So I think they're just going off of that old muscle memory still. And yes, they are looking more comfortable without really expressing themselves. And even when Nose gets a good touch like that, they are well positioned to deal with this. You need someone in the near post and in the on the backboard to make sure that that puck doesn't roll into the net, basically. Right now, EC Defiance looking pretty good after a bit of a rough start. So nice touch there for Bear Blitz, carrying it, flicking it over one nose, keeping that control. Good save from him. Devitt's back, keeping up the pressure, Rydog. And right now, I think EC Defiance, they should not be too concerned about how they're doing, you know, because they have settled in nicely. But what do you think it'll take for them to get a goal back here?
There's been a lot of times when Green Mario actually has been like kind of a third man. He's been open and has opportunities for shots. So if he can kind of get those on target, because I think they've had opportunities, like you said, Maz, across the backboard and stuff like that. The kind of the hitting the puck out, kind of like this from Devitt, actually just like that. And Green Mario's looked very, very good in those spots. So if he can get those shots on target, whether it's him or any of the other players on that team, they'll be in good shape. But right now, like I said, this puck is hanging out in the orange half.
And one of the reasons it is because EC Defiance have been boost starved for the whole game. And when you're boost starved in Snow Day, you are going to concede, just as they did against Bear Blitz right here. Missing a lot of shots in game one, but making it count here in game two.
Yeah, and like we keep saying, I think it's just a comfortability at this point, right? Like, I just think that Steel Army have just looked the better of the two sides. And once again, not to discredit EC Defiance, but you can just tell that, Maz, maybe you're right, man. Like, these guys used to play this a lot, and it's just getting the muscle memory back. And we'll see Raisin Boy here on the back wall. He's going to get a back pass. His Bearfoot's going to come up. Oh, that somehow the puck bounced over him as we kind of retreat now towards the blue end of the field. But there's been a few attacks for EC Defiance, so I think they've got something, and this game's definitely not over, but they just haven't been like threatening attacks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, one of the reasons for that, Rydog, is they've not been able to get out of the goal whenever they get boost starved. And when you're boost starved, as I mentioned earlier, you're going to struggle. Another problem, as they have a chance right here to get a goal back, but Nose misses, and that puck bounces away. Second chance, Devitt gets the save off the near post. If there was ever a time for EC Defiance to get a goal, it was that time. Now Steel Army are cooking yet again. Bear Blitz faking. Raisin Boy trying to get a 50. And one of the biggest reasons that, you know, Steel Army can sustain attacks whilst EC Defiance cannot is Steel Army get physical. And Snow Day, it's all about that physicality. Gotta bump the guys out. Gotta, you know, make them uncomfortable in front of the goal, just like in real life hockey. And that's what Steel Army have been doing very well here in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And EC Defiance have to score with time on the clock, but with Debit with that clear, I think that might just do it. Steel Army, their pick of hockey in Rocket League is going to go to them, and we have an even series. And we're going to go back to normal standard 3v3, folks. Back to 3v3.
Yeah, and if I'm EC Defiance, I'm going to feel a sense of relief at going back into 3v3 because, oh my goodness, this Snow Day match, I mean, they were just second best throughout. And it's not easy, you know, like, it may look very simple to get into, but once you get into the game mode and start to play against better players, it's going to become a bit of a struggle. For now, though, I think we'll see them come back into 3v3 and just look way better. For sure.
I wonder too, Maz, and with this cup, I really, you kind of get to see, this is kind of a weird way of putting it, but like the all-around players, right? Because, you know, we in this league, we definitely have some 2s mains and some 1s mains and some 3s, you know, mains, right? That's the game mode that they mainly play. And so with this cup tournament, you kind of get to see, you know, who's strong at what, right? Like, Steel Army are very good at Snow Day, right? Does that mean they're maybe not as good at 2s, right? Or are they not as good at 1s, right? Like, you kind of get the feelings of like where everybody's at, regardless if they pick, you know, the game mode or not. So it'll be interesting to see what the next pick will be after this game. Of course, the loser of just this game, gets to pick Game 4's game mode. And Snow Day is now off the table, so no more Snow Day for anybody. But Maz, we are gonna jump into Game 3, and winner will take a lead into the series going into that next extra mode picked.
And for EC Defiance, they're back in DFH. This time the snow and ice have both thawed. So maybe this will be much more comfortable for them, especially now that they have to deal with a soccer ball instead of a hockey puck. Ooh, a good 50 there from Nose. Very able to bring this out. You know, just as Racing Boy made an impact in Game 2, we're now seeing Parks come back in to get into the standard 3v3 game mode. I think Parks was one of their best players in that Game 1, for sure. So it's good to see him come back. And we'll see if he can make a difference right here. As Devin comes in, solo dribble off of the crossbar, though. And the Game 1 woes return for Steel Army, Rydog.
Oh no, there's a pinch down the other end. Is that going to go in? It is! It's your man, it's Parks. After a huge pinch, it was Debit and... oh, Parks himself, of course, being the goal scorer. Going to just blow it right by Bear Blitz. And once again, Steel Army looked really good to open that game, but it's EC Defiance getting on the board first.
And Rydog, they have Racing Boy instead of Red 4. Same result, same kind of goal, and it looks like Steel Army are going to give EC Defiance a taste of their own medicine. Bear Blitz getting a quick fire goal off of the midfield. No third at the back. Both Bird and Parks at the same spot on the right flank. That is not a good goal to concede, folks. But we are back 1-1. Steel Army, they're probably breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah, a little bit as we see this ball once again get right back in the blue end. EC Defiance definitely looking more comfortable now that there's a ball and less ice on the field, as we see Debit here going up the left-hand wall. It's going to get a flip. Can he get the ball down? No, it's going to go back off the backboard, and Bear Blitz, I don't think read it right. Raisin Boy's just going to full send and score, and Steel Army take the lead.
And that's where Raisin Boy is the difference maker. When you need a reliable, powerful shot off for your third man, Raisin Boy is that guy. Getting a quick fire powerful shot after Bear Blitz fakes EC Defiance out. 2-1 to Steel Army, but do not count out EC Defiance, folks. They will be back.
Absolutely. We see Debit once again trying to get the offense going. Another Minecraft Anvil knows, actually rushes the clear a little bit. Debit still back on offense. It's going to be a double commit on the back end from EC Defiance, but they get the clear that they need to kind of reset and relax. And so a little bit of a reset here for EC Defiance.
An interesting play as well, Rydog. I don't know if you noticed Bird and Nana go for the bump on Raisin Boy off of the air.
I didn't, but I'm not surprised because all of the Seattle teams like to be physical, just like Raisin Boy likes putting in goals. Gets an insurance goal. It's 3-1.
And Bear Blitz playing the provider, his favorite role, Raisin Boy, placing it into the near post with EC Defiance trying to rush towards the far post, trying to cover as much of the goal as possible. This is looking more like that Snow Day game too, where Steel Army just keep up the pressure. And, you know, Defiance get pinned back. Once again, great pass off the backboard, off of the post. The goal frame saving EC Defiance yet again. Can EC Defiance make it count? So far, they are struggling to do so. Another warning shot, though, for Steel Army.
Absolutely, Raisin Boy's gonna get another shot on target. It's cleared away by Parks, and I noticed that demo from Birdnana, Maz, and yeah, so Birdnana kind of trying to take charge and trying to remove some Steel Army players from the field to try and, you know, open it for his teammates. As that clear is gonna go wide in the end. That's a good save from Debit, but yeah, right now it's kind of all Steel Army.
And one of the reasons for that is they've taken much better control of the boost. What a shot by Red for Bear Blitz, sorry. Great save, though. And it's still 3-1 as the demos come out and the bumps and the open net. Raisin Boy with his hat trick.
This is really good physical play from Steel Army. It's going to be Bear Blitz to open it up, and then Debit says, "I will follow you, brother," and get another demo that led to a bump, and then the third man is just there to tap it home. Doesn't have to do anything but just drive into the ball. And it's a 3-goal lead with 2 minutes left for Steel Army. And yeah, once again, since that opening goal, Maz, EC Defiance have looked really flat on offense. As I say that, they're going to get an upper decker shot from Parks, 4-2.
Okay, that placement is absolutely incredible. From that end of the field, at that corner, Raisin Boy couldn't make it to the ball. And what a bounce off that corner. Perfectly placed, 4-2 to Defiance with 1 minute 55 seconds to go. There's still a lot of time for them to come back, but they needed that goal so badly. Right on, this Defiance team has been pinned back, but it's those moments that'll give them some confidence and help them push up and maybe pin Steel Army back.
Yes, absolutely, but we do see the ball back in the orange half. It's going to be a save from Nose. Nose is going to need to follow this up, and does. Very good touch from Nose. They're back on the offensive end. Can he get it by one more? He can. Nose, can he get a 50? No, Debit's going to win this one that time. It's going to go back to the corner. Here we go again. Another bump. The physical play. The Steel Army likes the physical play. As we see, this net is also open. Can Bear Blitz get around it? It's going to be a dunk. That's a really good save from Birdnana. But Raisin Boy, 4 shots, 4 goals.
It has been the Raisin Boy goal fest right here, folks. Every single good chance that Steel Army has had has been due to the hard work from Raisin Boy's teammates, creating good chances and opportunities, and Raisin Boy's there to clean it up. That's what they were missing in Game 1 for sure. That's how EC Defiance were able to punish him. This time, though, they have a third who can get up and pile in a lot of pressure, but they still don't have the defensive solidity. Birdnana bringing it back into a 2-goal margin.
That's what DP players do, man. Even if they're getting paid damn money, Birdnana trying to claw his team back. And yeah, Mass, this game isn't over. It's still a 2-goal game, and you know they say that's the most dangerous lead to have. And 1 minute is plenty of time. As we see Nose go up, he's gonna try and fake Debit, but Debit says not today. But that's definitely given EC Defiance a little pep in their step. They look a lot better on the offensive end.
And I want to highlight Nose right here because he's showing a level of control and composure that I don't think I've seen from him with this consistency. So props to him for improving his game and stepping up, because that is what they need against the Steel Army side. A guy who can take control of the ball, draw out Steel Army, get those 50s. Nose has been a huge help for them in that regard. But once again, EC Defiance are pinned back. Devin cannot get this on target. Raisin Boy has to go back as Bear Blitz, takes a weak shot. Pass from Raisin Boy to Debit. 6-3. Surely that's Game 3 to Steel Army.
Yeah, Shirley, right. I think the nail's maybe on top of the coffin at this point. That's a really good pass from Raisin Boy. Had the opportunity to shoot it, and it's good communication there from Debit to say, hey, just lay it off. I got you. And Put it in the net. Is that going to go in off the kickoff? No. And with 10 seconds left in that clear, that's probably going to do it. So Steel Army taking 2 straight games. And we're going to take game 3. And that means that game 4's choice is going to go to EC Defiance.
Now, this is going to get very interesting. I don't know where EC Defiance is going to go right here. I mean, if you're EC Defiance, I don't know if you want to go with a 2v2 or a 1v1. Because right now,
I think you have to go extra modes.
You have to go extra,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Maybe go unpredictable.
I see the pick. They're also going to make a sub, and I like it. I like this mess.
I'm not surprised they went with that pick, by the way. We won't spoil it for all of you, as I get this lobby set up real quick. But since we're here, Rydog, since you know the pick, without spoiling it for everyone else, do you think this is the best possible pick for them?
I'm trying to think of the other modes. I mean, it's weird to think about, right? Because there's always Rumble on the table, which just throws everything out the window, right? And of course, because that's the RNG game mode. And so that could be a good pick for either side, just to kind of throw things for a loop. Hoops, I don't know. I haven't seen them play hoops, but this game mode, I think, truthfully, for EC Defiance, they need all 3 players on the field at the same time. Now, granted, they could still be good 2s players and good 1s players. I just think that they work so well as a team that they need to have all 3 players on the field at the same time. So this extra mode, this 3v3 extra mode that's not Rumble, yes, everybody, it is going to be drop shot. So we're in the hexagon, I think it is, a giant hexagon, and we're gonna get ready to go into game number 4 in just a second. Here we go.
Both teams in core 707 for drop shot. Aerial prowess is the name of the game here. Here we go. Let's see if EC Defiance's choice pays off. No rotation from Steel Army. They're sticking with their trio. And EC Defiance bring in Bird. It's not Bird. What am I saying? Green Mario for nose.
Yeah, Green Mario for nose. We'll see a lot. You'll see continued rotation from EC Defiance no matter the game mode. And I don't know if that. I think that favors them, right? Just they switch it every single week and every single game. It sounds like so. I think that makes sense. But yeah, Maz, it's the game in the air and who can have better kind of ground control, right? Kind of predicting where the ball is going to go. And of course, once again, if the ball is your color, it can bounce on your half just like this. But that spike down from Bear Blitz is going to give them some extra damage. There's a little hole on the other side for Steel Army, and there might be some for EC Defiance. I can't tell, but definitely for Steel Army, they have a hole opened up already.
It is one little hexagonal space, though. Steel Army can't be doing much with that. They need a bigger goal opening up on the EC Defiance end. Now, both sides have a little hexagon open up. So far, EC Defiance has looked good, by the way. Like, they've done a decent job of getting some damage on the Steel Army end, as this ball could be bouncing in, but it barely evades that goal space. Steel Army breathing a sigh of relief as EC Defiance keep the pressure on.
Yeah, EC Defiance look very, very good in this game mode, and kind of similar to what's it called? Steel Army and Snow Day. As I say that, it's Mr. Accountant himself. He's gonna get on the scoreboard first. I think he dunked somebody.
More like he dunked the ground.
Yeah, he dunked the ground. And yeah, it's gonna be 1-0 Steel Army. But EC Defiance have looked good, so no need to panic just yet. Plenty of time.
Oh, absolutely. And with that said, oh my goodness, I thought that was supposed to go in. Wasn't that on top of the goal area, Rydog?
I think it was. I think he was trying to spike it down, and I don't know if he needed to do that. I didn't know if somebody was there to make the save or not, but nonetheless, another hole opens up for EC Defiance. But that's an opportunity wasted for them.
They're getting closer, though. There's a big gaping hole on that near side for Steel Army. They need to be wary of that. Now, whilst the action's underway, folks, I'm happy to see a bunch of people drop into the chat. Seeing a few EC Defiance and Steel Army players, and Knows Always Knows, aka Soccer with Shane, Red 4, Raisin Boy earlier. Good to see you as well, KJ. Toad Death as always present, and Caesar making an appearance as well. speaking of appearances, so far, there is a lot of damage on the blue half. Not enough on the orange half, but Steel Army do have that goal advantage, and so far, they are looking a little comfortable, but good bit of damage there from Debit. Now that area's starting to open up, Rydog, what should EC Defiance do? Should they become a bit more protective, or should they go all out, try and get that goal?
Oh, they almost got it right there, Maz, as we see a kind of a cluster of everybody in this corner. It's going to be, once again, some more damage for Steel Army, but I think it just comes down to these clears. These clears right now aren't going to the other side of the field. They're kind of going into this spot, right in the middle, where, you know, Steel Army have actually just kind of hung back a little bit and let EC Defiance kind of clear the ball straight to them. So that's actually been a beneficial thing for Steel Army. So if EC Defiance can kind of clear the ball and either clear it longer or just get closer when they're hitting the ball so they can clear it more to the blue side of the field, they'll be in better shape. But yeah, once again, right now it's Birdman trying to save his team from getting some more big damn on the field, and there it is from Debit. So Steel Army once again are looking to put another one away, but it's going to be a miss on the sidewall from a Steel Army member, and Green Mario is going to get credited with the goal.
And that goal came at a perfect time for EC Defiance, just as they're starting to receive a lot of damage in their half. Green Mario with a chancer off of the wall. Raisin Boy with an unfortunate miss for his team. 1-1. Less than 90 seconds to go. Could we get a second for Steel Army? Yes, we do. Raisin Boy with an instant reply.
Yeah, I'm going to call this right off the kickoff. Parks kind of taking his time, thinking he has a little bit of time, and Raisin Boy just goes. And Raisin Boy just goes, and it just goes straight down into that hole that was already pre-established. And it's going to be a lead right back for Steel Army. And obviously, you look at the levels, right, and see that there's no extra damage for EC Defiance. So they're going to have to work extra hard to get this one back level.
They don't have much time on their end, Rydog. They have about a minute to go, so every hit counts. They need to get as much damage as possible right now. It feels like that goal for Steel Army came at a good time because they have 0 damage to to contend with. They don't have much reason to protect their end right now, as they could go out and just freely play and get some more damage. For EC Defiance, though, they need to make every touch count. They need to get as much damage as possible, get that quick fire goal. And one of the best ways to get a lot of damage is through pinches onto the ground. So we'll see if they can get that going right here. As the ball goes loose to Green Mario, off of the backboard. Green Mario fakes, good bit of damage now in that blue half. Second chance, right there, more damage. Can Birdnana follow up? He waits. Now he gets a shot off, a little weak, and Rydog a bit late, isn't it, as the clock goes down to the final 10 seconds.
Yeah, they're going to have to get some damage right now and then spike it down into that same exact spot. It's going to be a double commit here. Can they get the damage down? They can, but is there a spot opened up? I don't think so. And with that being said, I think that is going to do it. Steel Army take drop shot and are going to take us to potentially the last 3v3.
There was a little gap right there, Rydog. I don't know if you saw that. Could have gone in there. We could have been into OT, but Steel Army get away with it right there. And a huge win for their side. Bear Blitz coming up big. Look at that, 676 damage. That is absolutely incredible. And that has been the real difference maker at the end of the day. It's that a ton of damage coming from him.
Yeah, absolutely. As we're going to see, once again, another rotation for EC Defiance, as per usual. It's going to be Knows Always Knows in for TAM player Bird. And yeah, I think that just shows, right, kind of going off of what I said kind of in the pre-game 4, was just that Steel Army is just overall maybe just a better team, like an all-around team. I think EC Defiance really do have the 3v3 game mode locked down, and I think these extra modes maybe not playing to their favor super well, but like I said, we'll see. There's one more 3v3 coming up next, and then if EC Defiance can win that game, then we'll see another extra mode. But until then, yes, if Steel Army wins, they will win the series. So big game, 3v3 coming up.
Folks, we are going from the core, deep underwater, into the Aqua Dome, below salty shallows for this next 3v3 game. Here we go. This is it for Steel Army. They can win it all. and go into the upper final, or DC Defiance can get one back and force us into another unorthodox game mode.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it behooves Steel Army to win this now and not give EC Defiance any momentum. But once again, like I said, this is probably EC Defiance's best game mode. And so we'll see if they can kind of capitalize on that. Of course, they don't have their best player, or arguably their best player, in Bird Nana, as we see a double commit come out for them. But no goes to show for it just yet, as we see Green Mario having a rescue ball, as that ball was a really good shot. But yeah, once again, it's Steel Army on the attack first in this Game 5.
And I know you highlighted Bird Nana's absence, but we also need to highlight Steel Army have no debit in their lineup. Red 4 has taken his place. Both sides without their best players on paper. We'll see what that means for both sides. So far, we've seen Bear Blitz start to take more control, get some better looks in front of the net. And in contrast, we saw an incredible chance where Parks basically did a pool shot off of Green Mario. Couldn't go in though. Good save there by Red 4 as he had zero boost in that aerial. Now let's see what Razor Boy can do. Doing a backflip, I don't think he meant that, but it does mean that EC Defiance can come up and maintain some pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of want Steel Army to win this game too, just because then my prediction would be correct. So there's a lot more on the line for me in this game than one might say, as we see Bear Blitz getting a really good touch pass too. It's going to be Red 4, didn't have the boost to get up there. It's going to be Raisin Boy trying to keep this in, but nothing doing so far, as Green Mario gets a good clear out, and we reset.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat. Debic did mention that he wishes Red 4 liked drop shot. I think the idea probably was for him to get involved in that drop shot game mode, but he just didn't seem favorable to it. Now he's in though. Open net. Bear Blitz gets the first goal. And right out, I think this is going to be very important for Steel Army. Without Debit, Bear Blitz is going to be the guy to be their main goal scorer for sure.
Yeah, you could tell that Bear Blitz kind of almost bailed on the play because he saw two players jump from EC Defiance and nobody actually hit the ball. And so nonetheless, it's going to be an easy tap-in for Bear Blitz. As we see once again a good start back for EC Defiance to get a shot on target cleared away by a Bear Blitz. But we'll see if they go back to the physical play. I think the physical play really for both teams has been really what's been working, and especially for EC Defiance. I want to see some demos. I want to see some bumps, get physical, especially, you know, Raisin Boy and Bear Blitz. If we can get them off the field, that'd be in really good shape as Green Mario and his big Lambo doesn't get the touch he wants.
Green Mario probably should have been called off there because Parks had a really good angle for the shot. Sometimes it's good to just call someone off if you think you have a better shot on net. With that said, I'm sure these guys will be fine. Good pressure there from EC Defiance. They're keeping it up. They're being way more aggressive right now. You know, they're not dropping off his back as quickly as they used to. They're now keeping themselves in the midfield, stealing the boost on the Steel Army end. But it's that will make the difference. Good flick over by Bear Blitz, who gets demoed for his trouble. We'll see if that allows EC Defiance to get out of their end.
Yes, here they go. It's going to be Green Mario off the backboard. Parks with a big miss. We'll call it a fake. Nose is going to try and float this in, but Raisin Boy's already there. Nose going to go up again. It's a good challenge from Bear Blitz in the corner, and who's going to be the first of the boost? It's going to be Nose. Green Mario's going to come in. So this ball kind of hanging around the blue half now, which is a good thing for EC Defiance. As Parks is going to get the ball from a pass from Mr. Green Mario, and it's 1-1.
Steel Army decided to drop back there, get themselves into the goal area to protect the net, and that's all EC Defiance needed to get back into it. Pass out to Parks, who had all the time to put in a powerful shot. 1-1 with less than 90 seconds to go. Could we see our first OT of the night?
Very much could. Here comes Nose. That's going to be on target. Bear Blitz had no boost and gets back just in time. Once again, the double commits right now for EC Defiance aren't working in their favor, as we see Green Mario in a lovely, lovely Lambo decal. Not getting the touch he wants. It's going to be a really good demo from Nose. Doesn't have the boost to turn on it, so it's going to be a small reset for Steel Army. Parks across. It's going to be stopped by Raisin Boy. Under a minute to go, and this ball is still hanging out on the blue half. It's going to be Green Mario that hits the crossbar this time. So no goal there, but yeah, EC Defiance have all of the pressure right now.
And they've done such a good job right here of pinning Steel Army back. Really making sure they get all the pads of boost that they can from that midfield area. Steel Army just being a bit slow off of their end. And anytime the ball gets cleared out, they all need to rush up. And this is where they really struggle to get going. Now the ball's finally hanging in the midfield. Enough time for Razorboy to get a shot off. And somehow this goes in. Was it due to the interference from Bear Blitz?
I don't know. It looked a little weird. The shot was near post. Raisin Boy, I think they were nervous. I think Bear Blitz freaked them out a little bit. And so nonetheless, against the run of play, it's going to be Steel Army taking a 2-1 lead with 15 seconds left. EC Defiance have to do it with time on the clock. Bear Blitz trying to get a flip reset. Got it, but doesn't get the connection he wants. Green Mario gets the ball up the field. 5 seconds left. They have to score here. It's going to be clear from Raisin Boy. And that is going to do it. Raisin Boy is going to put one in just because. And it's Steel Army in 5.
Game, set, and match. This 3v3 goes in Steel Army's favor without debit too. Bear Blitz stepped up big time. Red 4 has his moments. And Raisin Boy comes in with the clutch goals. Congrats to Steel Army being the first team to make it into the upper final. EC Defiance, however, still have a second chance. They will be going down to the lower quarterfinal.
Yeah, so both teams still in it. Once again, congrats to Steel Army. They looked like the better team today. I think EC Defiance started off really, really strong, and I think if they would have kind of kept that momentum up, I think this series would have been maybe a little bit closer. But nonetheless, it's the four-legged Steel Army, Bear Blitz, Raisin Boy, Red 4, Debit that get the win in 5. And even better, chat, my prediction was correct. So very, very good.
There you go. I honestly thought I had a bit of a chance when EC Defiance won game 1, but you know, when Steel Army brought in Raisin Boy, I think that's when everything turned on its head. He was the real difference maker at the end of the day. Because as you can see right here, he is high up there on the scoreboard, getting all those key touches, the key defensive plays, and of course the key goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they've looked really good, and I think maybe a little bit shaky in that game 5 with that 3, but I don't think they were really ever worried. Maybe the goal, and then maybe one or two other chances, maybe across even the series where they looked like not themselves, if you will. But yeah, it's just dominating performance from Steel Army, I think, at the end of the day. And once again, yeah, they're going to be the first team in the upper final. And if I'm correct, Maz, I think EC Defiance play Axe and Rose in the lower quarterfinal.
Yes, absolutely. We will get that bracket updated with all that information, but you are absolutely correct. EC Defiance will face Axe and Rose in the lower quarterfinal, and Steel Army go into the upper final. So, folks, we are going to get ready with an interview very shortly. Just waiting to see who exactly is going to come in. I think Steel Army have one guy decided. Not sure about EC Defiance. For now, they don't have anyone lined up, but we'll see. Still a bit of time.
Yes, we're going to bring in Mr. Debit, I think, from Steel Army. So whenever he wants to pop in here, we'll get him in here. There he is, Mr. Accountant. Debit, 4-1 victory. How are you feeling? How are the comms? I saw that Twitch chat.
Bro, I'm lighting up. I love when I get an opportunity to throw all those 3 guys out there, so I could just yell in Twitch chat the entire time. It's a beautiful thing.
Yes, absolutely. And I wanted to ask too, it's sort of off-topic question, sort of not. How much does Excel kind of help you, pun intended, excel at Rocket League for the fellow accountants down there?
Ooh, that's actually a really good question over here. You think about how much you use Excel just as a calculator alone.
Yes.
And it just keeps you going throughout it all. That calculator app, no need. Just use Excel the whole time. So as you're building calculations within your cells over there, you think the same thing about, calculating the angles that the ball's hitting the wall, hitting the back wall, the 50 angles, the demo angles. They just help you out. I think you're onto something with how we view Excel and how accountants can do at Rocket League.
Yeah, I'm just trying to spread awareness. Accountants can play Rocket League too, guys. Okay, for all these you didn't know. But kind of getting back to more Rocket League. The extra modes that were picked, obviously hockey mode, which Maz actually predicted, and now that I'm thinking about it, that would have made perfect sense for you guys. But drop shots coming out from EC Defiance, did that like worry you at all? How were you feeling kind of going maybe into that game mode and how your confidence was affected?
So Drop Shot is one of those modes that, I mean, like whenever we play it, I enjoy playing Drop Shot. I've played it with Luis and Bear, definitely. Red 4 is not a fan of Drop Shot of all things. So we were sort of like looking around, going like, who wants to play this one? Because I wanted to rotate a lot more over here. But instead, we just sent out the three that ended up playing in hockey and the second threes game, and it all just came down to, all right, who wants to be aggressive? Who wants to just like literally be there whenever the ball's flying up off of a crazy 50, that kind of deal. And then honestly, just sort of play the game out as if it's like a feeler out game, and it kind of felt like that throughout the entire way. Classic drop shot scoreline of 2-1. You get enough damage, you find a hole somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. It's funny how those drop shots games play out, because I feel like I've had a mixture of everything where you get like a 1-0 win, but there's like 500 million damage, and then I've seen where there's like you get like 10 damage and the score's like 6-5 or something like that. But nonetheless, it was still very, very entertaining from at least our end. And I guess my last question before I let Maz jump in if he has any questions. You guys are in the upper finals, and you guys potentially play either BNG Old Timers or LV. Who would you rather face? Actually, give me who do you think's going to win, and then if that differs, who would you rather face in that upper final?
This is honestly quite interesting because I think like on paper, one can say black and gold old timers based on the 3v3 games, but I'm actually gonna throw my hat toward LV on this one. I think if you throw in the extra modes and a bit of chaos that can happen, I think that's gonna mess up potentially Saikugo and the others on that team. If they get 1v1 for one of those modes for black and gold, that even could be tough because they still got 1v1 grinders on that team too. So I don't know. Like I could see either or. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm gonna go with the maybe not so obvious pick, and I'm gonna go with LV on that one.
Okay. All right. There you heard it there first. Maz, did you have anything for Mr. Debit before we give him the floor?
Yeah, so, Debit, one thing I'm curious about is if by any chance you guys were going to lose that game 5, what extra mode would you guys have gone with?
Dude, that's a good question because I had no idea what kind of to do. Because not that like we can't do like 1v1 or 2v2, but like we kind of want to stick with like the crazy modes, but we also don't like Rumble. So we'd almost kind of feel inclined to maybe like go hoops in that instance. Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how the rest of chat feels and whatnot, or how the other people view like 1v1 and 2v2s. I'd just rather do something funky in this kind of setting, or at least aesthetically different.
Yeah, at that moment you do kind of run out of options, don't you, if you want to try something unconventionals. But, I mean, would you still have a game mode? Say one game mode if you had to pick one.
I'd pick hoops.
Yeah, that's fair. Hoops would be a fun watch, not gonna lie. Now, in the position that you guys are in the upper final, would you consider yourselves favorites to go all the way?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think we definitely have the opportunity to bring it all the way home. I think we want to put ourselves in a much better position. Like try to grind out these wins up in the upper bracket so we don't have to go through the trenches of lower. So probably gonna put like more emphasis on these upper side just so we can, wait out, see how losers bracket ends up going from there. And yeah, I think that puts us in a good spot to, with our attitude towards this and maybe that I'd say we're favorites.
Absolutely. And one final question before we give you the floor, Debit. Is there a team you're not looking forward to facing in this cup tournament now that you've gone through into the upper final and observed all the gameplay from these sides, except for Los Verdes?
Do not give me 1v1 against Black and Gold old timers. I'll face them, but 1v1 against that team sounds like it'd be trouble, just specifically for that game mode only. I feel like the rest of it you can kind of work around, but at that point, I'd be like, no, I don't want to play ones, man. And that was not the time.
Yeah, 1v1 can be a bit of an unorthodox game mode for sure. But we'll see what happens when Los Verdes face B&G old timers. We don't know when that's actually going to be scheduled, but yeah, we have that going for we have that match coming up this week as well. We'll see when that gets scheduled. For now, though, Debit, you have the floor. Go ahead, say what you want to say.
Maz, can I ask you one question?
Me specifically? Sure, go ahead.
Yes, dude, you're looking at chat. I'm just saying, we had 4 players on both sides. Is that possible? 4v4?
Don't tempt me. Do not put me into that position, Debit, because I will make an executive order if needed. Don't tempt me.
There's a reason we love executive orders around here, and specifically for this 4v4 purpose. Because we talked about it. I'm glad they reminded me in Twitch chat just to yell at me and say, do chaos, do chaos. And I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, what if we did it?
It's a good thing I'm not American, and I value democracy way more than you guys south of the border. Because power to the people, but whatever y'all want.
And I can't believe a Canadian is saying this. I'll do my shout outs. But yeah, shout outs to the team. Guys, we're in the upper finals. Good job. Another week down. Go enjoy the rest of your week. Shout out the Hounds. Do something, please. I am losing patience right now. Either cup, open cup, something. More open cup, actually, because I want you to beat NYCFC. But yes, inspire hope for me. Shout out to Accounting the Profession in general. Shout out to Rydog being here in the booth, showing up on this Monday night, being out here for us. Shout out to Maz for producing and commentating and helping flip everything on the fly as we, go through all these game modes. And yeah, shout out to the rest of you guys for making this league what it is. So keep on watching, keep on enjoying, keep on chatting. I want to see more interaction just from my sanity alone. Love talking with you guys and playing.
There you go. Thank you very much for your kind words, Debit. Rydog, you have anything else before we let him go?
No, thank you for shouting out the accounting profession, underrepresented. So appreciate it, and we'll see you in the upper final, sir.
Yes, sir. All right, peace out, guys.
Peace. Well, there you have it, Rydog. Unfortunately, we will not have an interview with EC Defiance. That's all well and good. These interviews are optional at the end of the day if teams want to get interviewed. It's on them. So we're going to move on to the Championship Cup bracket because, yes, it has been updated. And, folks, here we are with that win. We can now confirm that Steel Army is in the upper final, awaiting the winner of Los Verdes versus BNG Old Timers. And at the lower bracket, in the lower quarterfinal, Axon Rose versus EC Defiance in a Cascadia Derby matchup. That should be a fun one to watch. And then EM Big Dogs will face one of Los Verdes and BNG Old Timers. We might have another derby there as well, depending on if BNG Old Timers can see off Los Verdes. So that lower bracket's shaping up to be really spicy.
Yeah, absolutely. Maz, do you have a prediction, maybe that since we're here looking at it, for that LVB&G match in that upper semi?
I know Steel Army's debit predicted Los Verdes going through, and given how they're playing recently, I can see why. It's tough, but I think with the way BNG old timers play, especially in the extras game modes where they have fewer numbers, I honestly think they might be going through, but it'll be a very close matchup. I think this will go 7 games, 4-3 to BNG old timers.
Okay. I hate doing this, rooting for LAFC, but I think I'm gonna also pick BNG only because. So if there's any LV members watching, only because I want a little Texas derby in that lower quarterfinal. I want 2 derbies in the lowers. So you can call me a fraud all you want, but that's what I love. So yeah, that'll be my prediction. And of course, the rest of the games, guys, stay tuned in the Discord. We'll let you know when those get scheduled later this week.
And on that note, yeah, just want to drop a quick reminder for the matchups in the SGL Premier, because SGL Premier is going through their league match week. And then next week, they'll be going into their cup match week, whilst SGL Championship goes back to their league match week. So if we just take a quick look right there, in a little bit, we shall see what matchups we will be looking forward to. And as you can see on your left column, El Matador versus ECRC, KC Cauldron versus the Locals, and Timbers Army versus EC Eternal. Right out, that's going to shape up to be a really interesting match week. I honestly cannot tell how EM versus ECRC is going to go. That could go either way. And with how well the Locals have been playing, I could see them upsetting KC Cauldron. The only match that looks predictable on paper is yours against EC Eternal. So I wonder what your thoughts are on that.
Well, I'll get into that, but yeah, the first 2 that you mentioned, I think I agree completely actually with those. I think Locals, yeah, have been playing much better since kind of the first few weeks of the season, so they're gonna look good. Of course, KC is KC, so we'll see at the end of the day. And yeah, that top match is probably match of the week for me, EM and ECRC. So that's a top 3 clash up there. And before also I get into, actually you'll probably bring up the table at some point, but yeah, no, the Timbers Army EC Eternal match is gonna be a good one. I know that we are taking it very seriously, just like we take any of the other teams, just because we have played, or at least I have played all of the EC Eternal players individually, at least at some point in various leagues, either it be SGL or another league, and they're talented. They're very, very talented, and you can't take them lightly because they could pop off on any given day. And so I don't think the table represents how good that team is. And I think they deserve better results, whether it be maybe not winning series, but definitely just kind of getting some more game wins here and there. So yeah, obviously I'm going to predict ourselves to win that, but it should be a fun one. We're trying to get it scheduled. So like I said, keep in touch in the Discord for that one. And then just a reminder, if you're just tuning in as well, just the left side matches are going to be played this week. The week 7 championship matches will be played next week. So
yeah, now is a perfect time for us to go into the league table just to see how both leagues look, with the SGL Championship taking a hiatus this week. And on that note, this is a good chance to remind you that a couple of teams do have their bye weeks. We'll go into the bracket again real quick just to show you which teams they are. But on the left side, you did talk about EC Eternal. You know, they might be a bit too low on the table, and that's not reflective of them. And I agree with you on that, but that's the way this SGL Premier is shaping up. You have a lot of good sides, but with how competitive and close it is. I mean, look at the gap right here. There's a 4-point gap between first and fourth. And every team has a chance at winning the league in the top 4. And then you have the Locals slowly creeping back into the race, and they might have an opportunity as well. So this is shaping up to be an absolute bloodbath of a league campaign.
yeah, and that's why, and for those of you who don't know how the league table works, is each game is a point. So if you win 3-2 in a series and you're the team with 2, you do get 2 points. And so that's why I think every game matters, and that's why you see an ECRC Timbers Army where they have the same record, but ECRC had one more game win in just one of the series, and so that's why they take that 3rd spot instead of the 4th spot. So every game matters, especially for seeding purposes as well, and yeah, trying to win the championship at the end of the day, right? And so that's why those top 4 teams are super close. And yeah, also another important thing to note, Maz, because Rebellion are the team with the bye this week in the Premier Division. Every team will be on 6 games played. So then you can, and everybody will have played everybody, and so you can kind of get a sense of kind of where teams are at, who's well placed, who's maybe gonna flip to in the second half of the season. So after this week, we should know. We already know a lot, but we'll know definitely a lot more after this week plays out.
Oh, big time. And you know what? Debit gives a shout out to the locals, calling them silent assassins. And you know what? He's right about that. They had a really slow start. They've been discounted early on, but now they're slowly creeping up. Now we're starting to see what they're all about. And we look forward to seeing how they perform against KC Cauldron, because that is going to be a really interesting matchup.
That's like my sleeper pick. That's like my sleeper match of the week.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think is that one.
Oh, I'm definitely with you on that. Folks, just before we end the stream, I just want to go back to the cup bracket just to give a quick recap as to how the Championship Cup looks. So as a quick reminder, Steel Army into the upper final. They're the first team there. One of Los Verdes and BNG Old Timers may join them there. And at the lower quarterfinal, we have our first matchup decided. Axe and Rose versus EC Defiance. And then EM Big Dogs will find out their opponent later this week. Now, I mentioned it earlier. Two teams get a bye week, effectively. Axe and Rose and EM Big Dogs basically didn't have a matchup, so both teams have a bye week. We'll see how they make use of this. Maybe they might want to play some games. Maybe they might choose to take a break. Maybe both sides might bring back their league match and play it this week. We shall see. Who knows? They have options at the very least.
Yeah, I definitely know Axe and Rose want to get together and do some film review and sign some different gameplay and kind of training techniques that we had talked about after their game last week. So
Rydog, Discord's getting a little funky right now. You are starting to disconnect a bit. I don't know if you can still hear me right now. He might be gone, folks. We might hear him back in a little bit. But for now, we are just about ready to wrap up. As a quick reminder, Steel Army versus EC Defiance happened today. This match went to 5 games. Steel Army beating EC Defiance 4-1. Both teams are still not out. Neither team. What am I saying? Steel Army are in the final. EC Defiance, though, is still not out. They are going to be in the lower bracket. And we'll see how far they can go from here. Rydog's computer died. Well, that's unfortunate. It's been a weird problem. A bunch of computers have been dying recently. Maybe it's time to upgrade. Get some new hardware before the tariffs really start to kick in. We'll see. But for now, folks, this is the only Mazar Rydog has had to, unfortunately, dip. Not at a good time. Not at his own choice either. But we will catch you next time, folks. Have a good night. We'll see you in a bit. Peace.